Instead of concerning ourselves with silly
Guys are
things,
here.
let's concern ourselves with funny things, such as boycotting Hoyoverse. As if the very notion of boycotting a gacha game is hilarious to me. There's no such thing as boycotting gacha games. We're all addicted. You're addicted. I'm addicted. We can't stop playing.
So Genshin Impact just officially released their new Natlin region, a region deemed problematic by many on social.
Bro, one of the reasons why I'm probably never going to play Genshin Impact is just how massive the game is at this point. It's like trying to get into World of Warcraft now. Like, come on.
Media, and I think this
It
is a
ain't
good
happening.
opportunity to revisit the Hoyoverse Boycott because every time we do, it gets even more hilarious, and today is no exception. So for context, for those who are unaware of the boycott, really quick, basically, the Natlin region was previewed back in July, and as a result, some users on Twitter started a Hoyoverse boycott, claiming this Natlin region was guilty of cultural appropriation and racism. And this is something that we would see all across social media, these official boycott accounts telling you everything you can and can't do, encouraging you to
boycott Hoyoverse, review bomb, like and retweet, share posts from us, share posts from BIPOC, spread the word, tell a friend, encourage others to speak. Make sure you promote my channel. Make sure you like and retweet my post. Make sure you give me all the views. Definitely don't stop playing the game.
Talk to local politicians, but the one thing they would not tell you to refrain from was playing the game, which is a big problem we'll talk about later in this video. However, at that point in July, a lot of Genshin voice actors would come forward to signal boost this campaign, resulting in one of the voice actresses being fired, because obviously. But that's where we left things off in my previous video about the boycott.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you're gonna boycott your company, don't be surprised if they fire you.
And you can see some people were not happy with that video. You can see this user screenshotted my video and also Hero Hayes' video and said, this right here tells us that most YouTubers who spoke badly about the boycott are either rage bait or don't play the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got called a tourist by a Hoyoverse boycotter. I might not ever recover from that.
Bro, really? Bro said that hit me right in my soul. It hit me right there.
But anyways, they're trying to shame people like me and Hero Hay by saying we don't play the game, which is ironic because they're supporting a boycott. And as a result, I would be doing a better job at the boycott than most of the people participating while I'm not even trying, because at the end of the day, a lot of the people who are attempting to quote-unquote boycott Hoyoverse games are still playing the games and coming up with wild justifications for doing so. And you can see the 100,000+ signatures on the related petition mean absolutely nothing if people are still playing the game. It's not an isolated event where some people are doing this. It is a sizable number of people.
Yeah, if 100,000 people quit the game,
boycott.
I think they've
noticed.
Like I said,
that's where we left off, but now with the release of the Natlin region officially, some of the official boycott accounts have made some statements. Let's see some of the rules they have made up for this new banner. So we of the Hoyoverse Boycott urge for a strike on Natlin's very first banner, starting on the 28th of August. Do not pull during her event banner and do not purchase anything from Hoyoverse. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are discouraging you from pulling this banner, but they are not discouraging you from playing this new update. They are literally calling this region this...
Well, of course not, because if they tell you that you have to stop playing, then they also have to stop playing, and they don't want to do that.
Content, racist, and cultural appropriation, the reason they are boycotting Hoyoverse, but they're still allowing you to play it. That is what slacktivism looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And also, just for your own knowledge, this is one of the characters they deem problematic. They believe in this case that the character here, Mualani, is a racist caricature of Hawaiians because that's in their own headcanon, I guess. But right here, this is the greatest screenshot I have seen in a minute. I couldn't even write a script or make up a tweet that'd be...
Wow! Wow!
funnier than this right here. So let's see what happened to one of the boycotters. So you can see this account right here. This is a account dedicated to posting daily pictures of a Genshin Impact character, and they also have hashtag boycott Hoyoverse in their name. And then they posted this screenshot polling the new banner and saying, oh hey. Where then one user said you should remove the boycott from your name then, where they reply saying, I'm free to play, thanks though, with a
But you're still supporting it. You pulled for the character.
snarky reply, as you can see right there. This
Like-
is basically the Hoyoverse boycott.
Like, it doesn't matter if you're free to play or not. You still pulled for that banner, with showing that you support that banner in particular. You want that banner.
In a nutshell. They
That's
really
how that
can't
works.
stop
That's how they
playing this
judge
game,
popularity.
and they're just blatant hypocrites about what they're trying to do. But here is one user trying to justify what just happened. Referring to that previous interaction, they say, you do realize there's multiple ways to boycott, correct?
Yeah, and this is the wrong
not
one.
Really. There might be different ways of boycotting, but they all share
Refusal
one
to have
fundamental
dealings with.
principle.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's the fact that you're not supporting the thing you're boycotting. You're not engaging with it in a way that serves their interests. Like, you can't do a partial boycott in this situation. You playing the game for free does not equate to a boycott, no matter what else you're doing. You are not doing a full boycott. I can't believe you have to explain this to grown adults in some.
Yeah, it's like they want to boycott, but they don't. But that's too hard. So it's
Yes,
like when
it's-
people want to
But
protest,
anyways,
but they'll protest from home.
thanks to
They don't- I
Packer
don't.
Girl
I
here
don't want
for
to go
getting some
down
of
to
these related
Capitol
screenshots,
to
but
the,
this
like,
is
Capitol Hill.
this
and,
is
like,
beautiful. It just keeps
actually
getting
protest.
worse. So the confessions of a Genshin Impact boycotter. So this user who is a boycotter says this. All right, I'll reveal my secret. Why I've reinstalled Genshin Impact. A thread.
Stop.
Now I am still
Stop.
part of the boycott, but I think it's important that we don't up and quit Genshin as a whole. In doing so, we essentially give the Hoyo defenders a place to congregate, a place to call home. The thread continues. Within my first days of logging,
I hate this game. I don't want to play this game, and I don't want to support this game. So I'm going to actively keep playing this game. Like, brother, go play a game you actually like. You're obviously not enjoying this. If you're not enjoying this game, why are you playing it? Don't play a game you don't like. What is wrong with you? What are these backflips you're making to justify you playing a game, but also still wanting to stand on a moral pedestal? So you have to like
in,
make
I was
up a
called
billion different reasons
performative
why it's okay
activist
to.
and called attempts at writing the N-word at me by 3 different people. I mean, you are a performative activist. That is, they are correct when they said that. But on top of that, they say now I should also note that yes, I was a frequent spender on Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. I would steal my mom's credit card at night and spend $20 to $40 every few weeks or so. Money spent, which would lead us to almost being homeless in summer of 2023.
What the frick? You are the most avid
any more ridiculous.
supporter of Hoyoverse.
Genshin Impact player and boycotter right here. I refuse to believe these are real people, but my observations keep telling me over and over again that there's a very good chance this is a very real person and a real set of circumstances that they're sharing. But a lot of this has to do with the fact that these Genshin Impact players, they're addicted to the game. That's why they can't fully engage in this boycott, because they can't stop playing, and this interaction really shows it. So this user says,
well, do you? Oh, he's gonna read it. I was gonna say.
do you have any advice on how to get the willpower to move on from Hoyo? I hate what the company's doing, but I can't bring myself to delete Genshin and move on. I've been playing for 2 years, and I feel like I just throw away 2 years of work and all the money I've spent on it.
Yes, that's how that works. You like the money's not in the game. You understand? You understand that the money's not in there. It's not on the phone. It's not in your Genshin account. Like, yeah, you technically paid money and got the digital good, but the digital good is still like exactly that. It's still just a digital good. Like, you're not physically gonna get it ever. Like, ever. Like, someday the servers are gonna shut down, and you're never gonna see that stuff ever again. Like, you're not even gonna be able to log into your account anymore. You understand how that works? You feel me? So, point being, just delete the game from your devices, from your cell phone, from your computer, from everything. Make sure you never install it again. And if you are incapable of doing that, then delete your account. Fully delete the account. Submit submit the stuff to delete the account fully.
A very sad thing to publicly tweet. I could never. The CIA couldn't torture this information out of me. But you see this user reply, this Saturn person, giving their own advice, and this person will be important because they have deactivated. Now, why did they deactivate? Well, they made a thread trying to display all of the Hoyoverse sins over the years and also why you should boycott. And the thread was so ass that they literally deactivated their account within a few hours because people were clowning on them that hard. Now, luckily for you guys,
Damn.
I always know when to screenshot things. I always can tell when something's going to get deleted or an account's about to go private or deactivate. So I came through. Trust me, you're welcome. You're going to enjoy this.
Oh, stop. I always know what's gonna get deleted. I guarantee you he screenshots like 50 different things a day.
This is the thread. So it says,
You got
why
lucky.
I quit Hoyoverse games and why you should too. A thread. Trigger warning. Mentions of pedophilia, racism, and whitewashing. And as always, anytime you see one of these like
I want to see what evidence she brings to the table for
discuss
all these
a
claims.
supposedly serious topic, you know you're about to read some of the worst stuff you've ever seen in your life. But on top of that, you can see there was no discussion here. This was not an open debate. This was the hidden replies before they finally took down their account. Basically, anyone who disagreed with them would get put behind a hidden reply. But here's the thread, okay? It starts off here saying, it is also incredibly racist and sickening company. They mock cultures, whitewash people of color, and it doesn't stop there with their examples of those supposed things that are quite
Aventurine?
a reach. But this is where it gets really good, okay? So they say this. They are also guilty of endorsing and advertising literal pedophilia and lolly in their games. Ew. So here's their examples. Supposedly a 500-year-old god, a
A 500-year-old girl? I thought she was like a fairy or something.
character in their newest game with no confirmed age, and not showing full pic, but she is incredibly sexualized here. She is a child. So again, as always with all of these people who make these claims, if you're trying to say this stuff is illegal, you realize you'd be committing a crime by sharing this stuff. Not just sharing it, but also downloading it onto your own computer. It's ridiculous. But the main thing here is, as someone who was supposedly a pretty involved fan with Genshin Impact, how do you not know that
You know
Genshin
what?
Impact...
He makes a good point, actually, the more I think about it. Yeah, if it actually was literally actually what you're claiming it is, then you yourself are breaking the law by just having it on your, like, just having it on your computer, let alone posting it up to the public and showing it off to the world. Now, what do you mean?
that caters to a lot of lolly characters. As always, if you don't like that stuff, that's fine, but don't sit here and play the game and act like you don't see these things. They try to promote lolly characters extremely hard. They're some of the highest selling banners, by the way, and it's impossible to not know that these characters exist in the game. And on top of that, right down into the coding, you will see lolly as a body type. I mean, that's how closely associated the concept is with Hoyoverse games. If you didn't know that, you're just lying to yourself. But here's some more examples, and this is where it gets crazy. You can see a bunch of malarkey here, but this one right here, very serious. His EN voice actor abuses his status and is a predator. Now, I'm assuming they're referring to Elliot Gindy. I made a video about him about a year and a half ago. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, this guy, total predator, absolute creep. This guy was horrible, okay? But here's the thing. After all this stuff...
He's not... Hoyoverse didn't, like, tell him to go do that. I don't understand how that, like, I get that he was an employee at Hoyoverse, but to what, like, I don't understand how Hoyoverse didn't, like, put a gun up to his head and tell him to go talk to a bunch of minors.
Came out about him. He was fired by Hoyoverse, and that was like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago. So what does that have to do with like the Natlin region and all this stuff? But anyways, that seems a little unserious when you have it right here, right? And then next to it, you have some other wrongdoings, and it's Genshin Impact referring to what they claim is a Hawaiian-inspired area as a vacation spot. You're comparing these two things, like, again, so unserious with these threads. And down here...
Oh yeah, because absolutely nobody. When people think Hawaii, that nobody ever thinks about vacations. Nobody, not a single human being in the world ever thinks about vacations when you think of Hawaii.
More coping
It's
about the
not known for
characters,
that
and
at
then
all.
this part is wild. So they're saying the
Definitely not in any kind of way, shape, or form synonymous with the word vacation. Hawaii.
Arlen's skills here in Honkai Star Rail are problematic because they have a swift harvest technique. So are you saying there's something like I think I know the connection they're trying to draw here, and that would just be projection. Like that's something you probably shouldn't admit that you think of when you see a dark-skinned character with an ability called Swift Harvest. But
Wait, what?
draw here, and that would just be projection. Like that's something you probably shouldn't.
Stop. Stop. No. They're saying that Swift Harvest is like a dog whistle for like harvesting what? Like picking cotton? And then you got Shackle Breaker? What? Because Arlen's dark skinned? Y'all are way more racist than anyone else. That is, no one thought about
that. You
that.
think of when you see
You are
a
insane.
dark-skinned character with an ability called Swift Harvest. But anyways, they continue on. I wish you guys could see. I wish I had arms working with me here because I keep imitating the poses.
You were going to look.
It says I can make
You
easily
were trying your hardest to find anything to look for.
more points, but I think this is enough to show how terrible of a company Hoyoverse and MiHoYo truly is. They should not be supported. And here's the next one. I got my hands up in the air. What can I do? Well, they say a bunch of...
Let me guess. We should support you and your channel and all your endeavors, right? That's what we should
blah,
do.
blah, 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 blah. But this is the important part. Next, you should stop promoting Hoyoverse games on social media. I know it can be hard not to talk about your favorite characters, but this can only advertise the game to new players, which isn't what we want. Private DMs are okay. Private DMs are okay. This just shows how disingenuous this whole thing is. But continuing on, they go, and what we want. Private DMs are okay.
So continue to support the game, just don't promote it? Is that what you're saying? Support them,
DMs
just don't
okay.
promote
this
them?
Just
How does that
how disingenuous this whole thing is. Well, continuing on, they go, and finally, boycott. Being mostly gacha games, Hoyoverse is mostly fueled by their players' wallets, so do not give them money. Don't play their games.
Hey!
Don't pay for their games. Don't associate with them on social media. Avoid anything that gives them a single cent. Wow,
well, at least they actually are being genuine about the boycott. They're not like doing a half-ass boycott.
This is much more of a boycott. They're implying you shouldn't play their games even if it's free to play. However, then the next slide in their PowerPoint presentation is this where someone says, but wait, wouldn't it be better to just go free to play? Server maintenance will cost them money. Holy copium by
no. Server, like, what are you talking about? Do you think that for every hour that you play the game, suddenly the maintenance cost goes up? It's not like you run the engine enough and it's going to cost them more money.
They're
not like getting charged for electricity per the minute.
I can see where you're coming from. So I guess it is okay to do a free-to-play option. Very confusing stuff, but as you can tell, this thread went off the rails. It was clowned on so hard, this user deactivated. And let's look at some other things before we wrap it up today.
That was the last
there
image?
Are so many
she didn't even explain. She didn't even give a yes or no on whether or not you should play as a free-to-play.
Desperate attempts. This user right here, you got to read this. Do you think we can plot to sue Hoyoverse for false marketing? Remember her. She is from Natlin. As a reader, I thought and believe this is what Natlins look like. Even if they had a shade lighter than hers, it's crazy that they basically lied to us. They are trying to start like a class action lawsuit against Hoyoverse because they believe these characters were falsely advertised because they're not as dark as they initially appeared. That is insane. Here's another...
They're really reaching at straws, huh?
Update. So part of the whole like do's and don'ts of the boycott is to try to contact like ambassadors and all these things. And this official Hoyoverse boycott account here makes a thread saying that they're sorry for being a little quiet on their process, and they've been working hard contacting ambassadors. and they say, we have contacted over 30 cultural ambassadors so far, with many more to go.
When you say we have contacted, do you mean like you've actually spoken to them, or you mean you just sent them a letter, like through a text, or like a DM on Twitter?
Now, that sounds great, except they're not saying we talked with 30 cultural ambassadors. They just said we contacted, which means none of them replied, as they shouldn't, because this is an absolute waste of time. But yeah, at this point, just let it go, dude. The region is out. You're encouraging people and saying it's okay to keep playing as long as you don't pull certain banners, and people are doing it anyways. This whole thing is just an absolute joke. In fact, even some of the characters from this Natlan region that have darker skin are being dismissed by users like this, saying, cool, now do the actual characters that we care about.
Wow! Now do the actual characters that we... Why do you not give a fudge about them? That's the problem! Look at this character here. She's dark skinned and has like what looks to be like a little like Cubone helmet. Look at this dude with the fro and the sweet freaking rings. And the freaking dude looks awesome. I don't know who this guy is. Hello. I mean, I there's at least one person here who has my undivided attention. I'm just saying, but instead you have Sparkle as your image. Sparkle owns your faves. What?
Literally can't win, but to sum this up with a nice bow on it, look at this. A few days ago, just before the Natlan region went live, Genshin Impact announced that at the Gamescom Award 2024, Genshin Impact has won the Best Mobile Game Award. This is a crowd-pushed award, meaning they got a lot of support from the community across the globe, enough to win Best Mobile Game of the Year. That is insane and ironic, as this is all happening during these supposed boycotts. But that's going to do it for this video. Another round of laughing at these people. I don't know how much longer all of this is going to go, but if there's any more significant developments, we will take another look at these boycotters to get another good laugh out of it. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
The comments are flooded.
Chill.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It is genuinely the most... I'm gonna go ahead and share this one on the Discord. It is genuinely the most, like, I want to boycott and do something without actually doing it, thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't believe how much... I can't believe how little... how little effort these people are willing to put into something they believe in. It's very sad to see. And frankly, it's a little embarrassing. Moving on. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!